One of the major things I want to do on this channel is every year, make a top 10 list of my most anticipated games, play them as they come out, maybe review a few on the channel, and then at the end of the year, make a top 10 of my favorite games, looking back to see if my excitement was justified. And now, it's time to do just that. It certainly was interesting, entertaining, and even a little cringeworthy at points, looking back through the year and seeing just how far off my expectations were for some of these games. And how a few of them didn't end up coming out at all. Stupid necessary delays that I can't even be justified over being mad at. Nah. But overall, there were some really fun games that came out this year, and I cannot wait to talk about why I loved them. But first, as you all should realize, this list is a personal one. It's not a top 10 games of the year, it's a top 10 favorite games of the year. These are the games that I enjoy playing, my favorites, and I have different tastes than all of you. Hell, even if our tastes were identical, I haven't played every game that came out this year. Far from it. Out of all the new releases that came out this year, I was actually able to play, I don't know, maybe 15 of them? 16? And those were only on the Wii U, 3DS, and PC. I don't even own an Xbox One or PS4, so this list is already factually wrong. And that's okay. It is supposed to be. So please, don't bitch in the comments about how Witcher 3, Bloodborne, or Metal Gear Solid 5 aren't on this list. You are just going to make a fool of yourself. And just a heads up, this isn't going to be like most top 10 games lists out there. I only played around, like I said, maybe 15 new 2015 games this year. Which means that if I were to make a top 10 least favorite games of the year, about half of them would overlap with this list. This video isn't going to be all starry-eyed praise and sunshine. There will be negativity when talking about some of the earlier entries. Again, my opinions, my video. You can hate me for them if you wish, but that's not going to change them. Really just making life harder for yourselves. Now then, let's see just how misplaced my hype was for the games coming out this year. Have you ever had an experience where you had been wanting something really badly for a really long time, but when you got it, it wasn't nearly as good as you had hoped it would be? That's the case for me with, well, an awful lot of things. But in this particular case, Star Wars Battlefront EA. Biggest disappointment of the year. Battlefront 2 was one of my favorite multiplayer games. I was dancing around the room when I heard a sequel was being made. But this is not the Battlefront game I was looking for. It provides only a fraction of the content its decade-old predecessor does. It's got a fraction of the maps, a fraction of the heroes, a fraction of the vehicles, no story mode, no galactic conquest, complete removal of the class system, space combat where nearly everything is automated, imbalanced, inaccurate, lackluster gameplay, the worst spawn points ever, a $15 season pass, no prequel content, there's no prequel content, no prequel content whatsoever. I dislike the prequels as much as most Star Wars fans, but if there was one thing that those movies got right, it was the combat. Where are my HD droidicars? Where is Darth Maul? I wanna play as Darth Maul so badly. I'm so disappointed. This was the chance to take a huge step forward for the franchise, and it ended up taking several steps back, tripping over its own legacy, and falling into a Sarlacc pit. So, if I have so many problems with the game, why is it on this list? I hate that my reasoning is this thin, but it's because it's Star Wars. This game, with all the problems it has, looks and sounds better than any other Star Wars game out there. I was floored by the amount of nostalgia I felt playing through this game. Flying through the skies in a TIE fighter feels like flying through the skies in a TIE fighter. Hoth looks and feels like Hoth. Fighting as Darth Vader feels as badass and awesome as it should be. If games were only based on graphics and sound, this game would be near perfect. It's unbelievably gorgeous. But that's not how game quality works. If it weren't for the fact that I'm overdosed on Star Wars hype for Episode 7, Battlefront wouldn't even be on this list. But don't worry guys, this'll probably become a yearly franchise for EA, and maybe after 5 or 6 installments, we'll get the Battlefront this game should have been in the first place, in the form of Battlefront 2022 Black Ops 5 Reloaded. Good grief. I've mentioned a few times in the past that Captain Toad Treasure Tracker was my absolute favorite game of last year. Which most people think is blasphemous, but I don't care. I adore games that let me relax and have a good time. Captain Toad was perfect for that. The levels were short, simple little brain teasers that made my real-life problems slowly melt away. So after that delightful experience, I couldn't wait for what I saw to be the other games Nintendo was making like that. As such, both Kirby and the Rainbow Curse and Yoshi's Woolly World were extremely high on my anticipated games list. But when I got both games, I essentially got the same mixed reaction. I'm doing both my number 9 and 8 entries in one go, as I have basically the same opinion on them. Yoshi being just a little bit higher because I find the gameplay to be a little bit more enjoyable, and Yarn is cuter than Clay. These are both very adorable, charmingly simple games. They are designed to be easy platformers that you play when you want to smile, but unfortunately for me, I didn't get that same feeling of blissful stress relief that I got from Captain Toad. This is entirely my own damn fault. Captain Toad is a puzzle game. These two are platformers. These games just aren't as, I don't want to say intelligent because that sounds kind of mean, but I don't know how else to put it. You don't have to think as hard for a platformer as you do a puzzler. So I didn't get that same feeling of satisfaction from solving a problem for these games. Basically, I was expecting something from these games that simply wasn't going to happen. I didn't have to put nearly as much thought into them as I was hoping, so I was left smiling at how cute the game was, but past that smile, I wasn't satisfied. I don't want to sound like I disliked either of these games. I did enjoy them, a lot, and I'd recommend them for anybody who enjoys a good platformer. But I didn't get what I wanted out of these games, was disappointed as a result, and that's entirely my own fault. I apologize for my stupidity. You know what sucks? Corporations suck. Stupid, greedy corporations force their stupid business models onto games, forcing games to release before they are ready, purposely withholding content, making stupidly overpriced DLC. It all makes me sick. Take Evolve for an example. That game had so much potential, such a brilliant concept with addicting gameplay. But the business decisions for the game absolutely killed all of the enjoyment to be had with the game. Those decisions ruined this game. I hate it so much. 80 hours? Oh. Well, okay. It was really weird for me to look back at my experiences with Evolve. My opinion of this game will be forever soured, due to the decisions made with the DLC. But as far as the actual base game went, it was actually very fun. Playing as a giant monster absolutely wrecking other players in what is literally a multiplayer playable boss fight is one of the coolest, most enjoyable concepts I've ever experienced in a video game ever. Having multiple monsters with completely unique attributes, versing off against 4 equally diverse and important human hunters, is a great concept in execution. I gotta give credit where credit is due. Turtle Rock showed us all how asymmetrical multiplayer can be done in an enjoyable and balanced way. It's probably the best example of this kind of gameplay done right. And ironically, it doesn't appear on the console designed for these kind of experiences. While the content it had at launch was fun, there wasn't much of it. And if you wanted to get more, it was unbelievably expensive. If they had just waited and released the game with more content, or drastically slashed the prices, I would adore this game. It would be so much higher on this list. But no, great potential is dragged down by terrible business model. Again! At least in this case, the foundation of the game is actually amazing. I really hope asymmetrical multiplayer starts catching on more in the future. I'd love to see more games like this one. And if the mistakes are corrected in the future, I will happily buy Evolve 2, should it come to pass. Oh boy, Blizzard Entertainment. Blizzard games have always held a special place in my heart. I've been playing their games for as long as I can remember. In particular, playing the real-time strategy phenomenon, Starcraft. Instead of characters like Mario, Link, or Sonic, the ones that most people grew up with, I grew up with characters like Jim Raynor, Tassadar, and the Queen of Blades, experiencing stories and gameplay that were way too mature for my young brain to even comprehend, but I loved it anyways. One of my favorite games of all time. So I patiently waited for a sequel, eagerly awaiting the days I get to play StarCraft 2. And thankfully, I only had to wait 12 years? Oh my god! And this is just the first of a trilogy of campaigns they're making for the game? After waiting a whopping 17 years to finally finish the story that I'd grown up with and loved my entire life, I finally get to play StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and end this epic saga. I played the game, beat the campaign, and it was okay. Thankfully my hopes weren't set too high. The previous campaigns, Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm, weren't stellar either. They weren't bad per se, still very fun. They just weren't as good as the first ones. StarCraft 1 and Brood War weren't happy games. They were full of betrayal and sacrifice, ultimately ending off with the villain being victorious. It was an interesting story that I loved, but in comparison, StarCraft 2 just feels like a rehash of Warcraft 3. A great evil is trying to destroy everything, and all enemies must unite as one to defeat it or risk destruction. Except when Warcraft did it, it was good. And the multiplayer, again, it's not bad, it's just not as good for me. It feels to me like Blizzard is focusing too much on making the multiplayer more enjoyable to watch as an esport. Which it is, very much so, but it's not as fun for me to play. I already sucked at this game's multiplayer, and the new micro-intensive strategies just make it so much worse. Unfortunately, this game did not live up to what I wanted it to be. I was expecting, well, no, not expecting, but hoping for something more. So why is it at number 6? Just like Battlefront, it's because of the nostalgia. I've loved StarCraft for as long as I can remember. That feeling of commanding giant armies and ruthlessly outsmarting your opponents is something that I don't get out of many games these days. Real-time strategy games have become an endangered species. Whereas as a kid I loved StarCraft, Age of Empires, Warcraft 1 through 3, Age of Mythology. Nowadays, StarCraft is really the only one of those left. And while I don't find the sequel to be as amazing as the first one, that doesn't make it bad. The overall gameplay is still really fun. And as long as it stays that way, I will always be excited for more StarCraft games. I'll just have to wait until I'm in my 30s to play the next one. I've got an important question for you all. Are you a kid, or are you a squid? Or are you just sick of that meme being everywhere? I wouldn't blame you, but too bad, because I like it. Mwahaha! I think Nintendo deserves a round of applause for Splatoon. Not only did they create a brand new, successful IP, they did it with completely original characters, marketed the game perfectly, and are still providing it with brand new, free content. They were able to solidify this game as one of Nintendo's heavy-hitting IPs, a system seller alongside the likes of Mario, Smash Bros, and Zelda. And it's only the first game of the series. That is amazing! Splatoon is the greatest breath of fresh air the shooter genre has ever received. Making the game entirely paint-based is such an out-of-left-field idea that opened the floodgates for a slew of innovative gameplay mechanics. The ability to turn into a squid is not only a very cool concept, but it also combines the sprint, reload, and crouch abilities into one button. Shooting is no longer just for killing opponents. Now it also doubles to spread your ink around the map, which is the key to victory in several modes, as well as increasing your movement speed while slowing your opponents. Releasing consistent free DLC for over half a year made sure that the game stayed fresh in the minds of players. And they're still making more! And of course, I can't forget the game's colorful setting, enjoyable single player, and fantastic final boss. And best of all, the puns! Really, the only reason it isn't higher on the list is because I just had more fun with other games. I do love the game, but it didn't hold my attention for very long compared to other games that I played this year. Plus, the game still makes me just a teensy bit motion sick, and that's no fun. Man, I love Starcraft and Blizzard games in general, but Legacy of the Void didn't quite do it for me. If only there was another Blizzard game, perhaps released this year, that I could play that would just overwhelm me with nostalgia for all of Blizzard's franchises. Oh, hell yes! For most MOBAs in general, I have a bit of a love-hate relationship. The gameplay is super fun at times, but also really tedious at others, and the player base is just god-awful. But Heroes of the Storm cleverly tweaks the MOBA formula to greatly simplify more frustrating aspects of the genre. It's much more user-friendly, yet still very interesting. What makes this game so special to me are the heroes. Blizzard has done some amazingly creative things with the heroes in this game. There's a hero who doesn't leave the base, and instead overlooks the entire battlefield, spawning minions in toxic mines, and symbiotically combining with allies to aid them. Or a hero who dies over and over and over again, that is designed to do so because the adorable bastard has a death timer of 5 seconds, unless you can kill the egg he spawns from. There's a hero that is actually 3 heroes in one. It's a glorious, chaotic mess. Of all the games on this list, this will probably be the only one that I'll keep going back to as the years go by, and more heroes are added. It's a unique, refreshing take on the MOBA genre that I love to play. It's so fun to play with my friends. If only I had them. But hey, if you guys want to try playing this game with me, let me know. I would love to get some more people to play this game with. Or any other game on this list. Such as... When I created this channel, I fully expected to be a Smash Bros. Centered channel that did other videos on the side. I didn't want to be, but Smash Bros. Was what got me noticed, and I figured that that would be what people wanted to see most from me. Then I released my top 10 Monster Hunter Monsters videos, and holy shit! 150,000 views?! I guess that goes to show just how much people love these games. Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. Monster Hunter is a franchise that keeps growing and improving with every new installment released, and 4 is no exception. Tons of new monsters, new gameplay mechanics, new weapons, new everything really. That all adds to an already fantastic formula of building weapons and armor out of the monsters you hunt, to grow strong enough to hunt bigger and stronger monsters. Best progression system ever. I've put almost 300 hours into this game, and there are still monsters that I have yet to fight. This game has so much stuff for you to do. It is the only game series that I have played that can keep me interested in the game for the entirety of its lifespan. I can guarantee you that the only time that I will stop playing this game is when the next installment releases. I love it so much that I made a giant 24-minute long review video gushing about all the great things this game has to offer. And thanks to that, I don't really know what else I can say about this game. Bleh. I guess I'll just run some funny recording that I made while playing the game and move on to the next entry. I just got this new monster called the Dalamador. I've never seen it before, so I'm excited to see what this is. Let's go. Okay, I'm excited. Let's see what this is. Loading. Here we go. Okay. Looks like I'm on a mountain or cliff or something. It's stormy. Cool. Cliff? Tower thing? The tower's the monster! Oh, that'd be cool. Please say it is. Please? Oh? Oh! Whoa, what was that? I saw a tail. I saw another tail. Or are they tentacles? I don't know. Looks cool, though. Oh boy, it's big. Wait. Oh my gosh, it's a giant snake! Holy crap, the thing's huge! Oh my god! You guys remember how I made that top 10? New #1 monster! This is so cool! I'm gonna die! Have you ever gotten lost in a video game? I'm not talking in a metaphorical sense, that you lost yourself in an immersive game. I mean literally, have you ever gotten lost? Maybe I just have a bad sense of direction, or miss hints, or something, but when I play games with large overworlds, there is always at least one time where I have absolutely no idea where I'm supposed to go. So I aimlessly wander around the world, double and triple checking everywhere to see if I missed something, and slowly dying from frustration. I hate having to do this. It isn't fun. Yeah, some overworlds are pretty, but I could never imagine just wandering around the world for the hell of it, getting nothing done. Until I played Xenoblade Chronicles X. I don't think it's possible to actually get lost in this game. The ways to progress in the story are carefully laid out for you, and you have a map of everything at all times. But this is the first game I have ever played that I have spent hours just wandering around the world, picking up random item orbs and exploring to see what wonders I could find. I was so enthralled in the environments, monsters, and music that I would flat out forget about what mission I had set out to accomplish. And that was before I had gotten a Skell. Once I had the ability to drive and fly around, my free time disintegrated in the presence of X's fantastic world. I had originally had some misgivings about this game, because I was worried it wouldn't live up to its spiritual predecessor. Xenoblade Chronicles was near perfect. It was going to take a lot to live up to. And I'm happy to say that X is a worthy successor to that game. Is it better? I honestly don't know. They are both fantastic, it's just a matter of which is more fantastical in what ways. But regardless of how it compares to its predecessor, this is a fantastic game that everyone should try out, and overall my favorite of the games that I was anticipating at the beginning of this year. Monster Hunter came really close, but it couldn't overcome Xenoblade's amazing overworld. Well guys, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it. What? Did I miss something? Oops. Wow, this is really embarrassing. Normally I don't make mistakes like this. I made sure to look over every new game that I played this year. From Xenoblade to Mario Party 10. I was thorough, I swear. Unless there was something else. Some obscure game that I had never even heard of until I picked it up. An indie game perhaps? One that I loved even more than Xenoblade and Monster Hunter? But how could that possibly happen? How could a tiny indie game possibly compete with the majesty of Xenoblade? This isn't just one of my favorite games of this year, I think it clocks in as one of my favorite games of all time. Never before have I had such a... oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Heartfelt? Yeah, heartfelt works with this game. Such a heartfelt experience with a video game. The inventive gameplay, the engrossing story, the phenomenal music. It's all interconnected, complementing and building off of each other in ways that can only be accomplished when all three are made by the same person. Knowing exactly how and when to play the music to make the gameplay more intense, the story moments more potent, all coming together to create something that is truly special. This is a game that took my heartstrings and played them like a harp. It had me interacting with characters with relatable problems, such as a happy and confident character who acts like a complete narcissist to hide the fact that he is unbearably lonely and just wants a friend. Or a closet nerd who fears that people wouldn't like her if they found out how she truly acted, choosing instead to hide her interests and actions because it's better to live a lie where two people are happy than a truth where neither are. Oh, my heart! My heart! That one got to me. That one really got to me. I mean, I don't have these problems. Why do you ask? Change the subject already. Just change the subject. Is it the best game of all time? Of course not. It doesn't have a legacy yet. But is it the best game of this year? Yeah, I'd say so. But regardless of whether it is the best game of this year, the one thing that I can say with certainty is that it was my favorite. I will never forget my experiences with Undertale. No game has ever made such an impression on me as it did. And I guarantee you, despite what some people say that it's just the latest fad, that I will remember this game and what it meant to me. As the years go by and I make more videos, I can guarantee you that I will be talking about this game again. Hey guys! Thank you so much for watching my video. It's been a great year for gaming, and I hope that you guys were able to play some games that you loved. If you guys had some different experiences with games this year, please let me know about them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, and want to see more like it, please like and share the video, and subscribe to my channel. It's a great way of letting me know that I should make more videos like it. If you disliked it, either because you dislike my video style, or are incapable of respecting other people's opinions, never fear, for there are ways to express that as well. Leave a hateful remark in the comments, dislike the video, and subscribe to hate my future videos as well. If you want to see some more of my videos, you can click the left annotation to be taken to a playlist of my other top 10s, or the right annotation to see a playlist of my review videos. Or if you want something a bit different, maybe a giant drop in quality with horrible commentary, check out my gameplay channel by clicking on Rayman's beaming face, where I am currently playing through a Pokemon Emerald Nuzlocke, as well as a no reset run of Fire Emblem 7. And finally, I've got a bit of a belated late Christmas present for you guys. I was originally planning on holding off on playing games with my viewers until I could stream it live, but I don't think that will happen for a while. So, here's what I am going to do. Every once in a while, I am going to be posting on Twitter whenever I'm going to be playing a game that you guys can join in on. Could be anything from Monster Hunter to Heroes of the Storm to Splatoon. This isn't going to be scheduled, just whenever I have the time to play with you guys, though I will try to give you a bit of an advance on when I'm going to be playing. So if you want to play some games with me, follow me on Twitter and tweet at me what games you would like to play, as well as when you would be available, and I will try to play with as many of you as I can. Well, that's all for this video. I've got to go get to making my top 10 most anticipated games of 2016 video. So until then, I hope you guys are all enjoying life, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!